What's up everybody, I'm back. Welcome to a brand new video, and today we're going to be doing a Pacific Rim the Black news and updates. I know it's weird. I understand, the show's already out, so why would I do a news and updates now when I never have before? Simply to let more people know that the show's out there. I'm not hearing a ton of people talk about it. I've only seen the first 2 episodes as of recording this video, so I figured I'd make this video to be like, hey guys, there's a new Pacific Rim show out. Let me cover the news on it, because I haven't yet. Also, because I've only seen the first 2 episodes, I don't have like a ton of knowledge of the series. Starting out, there was a Pacific Rim experience in 2019 that was held in Indonesia called Pacific Rim Shatterdome. It was a big ride. It looks really cool. You can see pictures of it here. It's just like giant kaiju skulls and pieces of Jaegers, and it was this really cool Pacific Rim themed attraction. I know it's super late to be talking about it, but it did happen, and I thought it was really cool when it happened, and I saved this news years ago and just never got to talk about it until now, but I figured I'd mention it. It was an Indonesian attraction. I don't think it's still up, but it was there at one point. There is a Pacific Rim anime. For those of you who don't know, it's already out. You can go check it out now. It's a Netflix anime called Pacific Rim the Black, so it's on Netflix. It was done by Polygon Pictures, the same people who did the Godzilla anime trilogy, so I'm sure that scares quite a bit of people away. Don't worry guys, the animation is better in Pacific Rim than it was in Godzilla, in my opinion. This show has been confirmed for 2 seasons, so although season 1 is out, we don't have season 2, so we're only halfway through the show in terms of what's been released. This has been said to be one of the biggest budget Netflix animes of all time, with Polygon Pictures and Netflix teaming up to create it. The show is centered around 2 siblings who battle their way across a continent of danger in an old Jaeger long after humanity has defeated the kaiju. So the show takes place after the events of Pacific Rim Uprising, and it's just about some kids who were abandoned by their parents, and they're trying to find their way through this destroyed world after kaiju have, for whatever reason, taken over Australia. The kids use Atlas Destroyer after being abandoned in Australia by their parents when the continent fell to the kaiju. Atlas Destroyer is a training Jaeger who has no weapons, so it's real tough to fight kaiju with. A kingpin has risen to power and now controls the Black, which is what they call the continent now, and he seemingly goes after the kids. I'm not sure, he's not been introduced where I'm at, but he seemingly goes after the kids because they have a Jaeger and because he knows that their parents were pilots. There's a lot of questions that this show raises, like how and why are the kaiju back? Why did the precursors pick Australia? Why aren't the kaiju trying to blow themselves up in volcanoes like they were in the last movie? What's really going on here? When exactly is this set? I've heard from many people that most of these questions do not get answered as the show goes on. There's also a bad guy sort of Jaeger that appears in this. It's in some of the posters, but I'm not really gonna say much about it because it's supposed to be a reveal. Honestly, I don't know much about it. It's only been in like 2 scenes where I'm at in the show, so I don't know enough about it to say anything. I have Pacific Rim the Black reveal panel linked down below. It's actually a pretty interesting watch where they show off the intro and they talk about it, and it's some fun. There's some posters for the show as well. I actually really like the posters. One of them is a pretty standard Netflix poster where it's the 2 kids standing in the shadow of this big Jaeger. Another one is this really cool shot of the Jaeger with a kaiju in his visor. And then there's a series of these character posters is what I'll call them. Not really, I don't know what they'd be called, but there's a whole series of posters that go together that are really awesome. They actually remind me a lot of the Pacific Rim Uprising posters. The first one has Atlas Destroyer on it, and then the next 3 have kaiju on them. One of the kaiju looks like a big dragon type monster. One of them is kind of like a frog thing, and I think we see that in the first episode, and I have no idea what the last one is, but it looks cool as well. I really like those posters quite a bit. The first couple trailers for the show have come out, and of course it's not really important now that the show's out itself, but the trailers are out there, so you can go check them out if you want. Stephen S. DeKnight, the director of Pacific Rim Uprising, actually weighed in and thought it was pretty cool. He endorses the trailers and says he's excited for the show, so that's really cool. We also have a series of still images. These still images are kind of new to me because I haven't seen like any of this because it's not in the first 2 episodes, so there's a lot of stuff here, but I'm not really going to break it down because the show's already out. There'd be no point. I'll just say that I really like it. I think that there's a lot of really great visuals here. I really like the style of this movie, going back a little bit more to the style of the first Pacific Rim, especially in terms of the production design, the way it looks. It doesn't really look like Uprising looked. It looks much more like the original Pacific Rim, especially the interior of the Jaeger. I really like that. I don't love Atlas Destroyer. I think that the color scheme is just kind of too bright and too flashy bulky, but it's a cool designed robot. And of course, I think the kaiju look really cool in this show. They are truly the standout. We have one of our reveal images, this big frog kaiju. He actually appears in the first episode, and he's really cool. I love the look of him, and I really like the neon blue. I'm so glad that they retained that from the movies. Wouldn't feel right if they didn't. Of course, because this show is on Netflix, there is posters for it and banners for it, and there's a Netflix listing for it, so you can just go check out the show if you want. Really, I'm just trying to spread awareness that this show exists. Once again, I'm not hearing too many people talk about it, so I'm letting you know the show's out. Go check it out. Some fun teasers were released in addition to the trailers, including one which is like a Jaeger pilot training thing. Like, do you have what it takes to become a Jaeger pilot? That's some fun. I like it. Kind of reminds me of the war-ready Pacific Rim uprising propaganda that was released. That was a lot of fun. And then, of course, we have the opening theme song for the movie. The actual soundtrack's posted on YouTube officially. You can go check it out. I haven't listened to all of it. It's okay. The soundtrack is okay. There's times when it feels really reminiscent of the original Pacific Rim, and that's because I've been told that the composer of this show, whose name I don't know, worked with the composer of Pacific Rim 1, whose name I also don't know. I don't know how to pronounce that dude's name. But I guess because the composer that worked on this show was involved with the composer of the original Pacific Rim, so he obviously has some of those original influences in here. I'm hoping that the original Pacific Rim theme is used here, and if it's not used in season 1, I really hope it's used in season 2, because it's not Pacific Rim without that theme song. It just would really tie everything together, in my opinion. One of the things that I'm most excited about, and this is the last little news section for the day. I know it's a quick video because I don't have a ton to say, especially because the show's out there. Go check it out. One of the things that has me most excited is the upcoming Japanese release of the show. I don't know why. It just doesn't feel right watching it in English. I know it's an American anime, but I looked for the Japanese dub when I was watching it on Netflix. I was gonna watch it in Japanese with English subtitles, and they just didn't have that option. At least I couldn't find it. So I watched it in English, but there's a Japanese trailer. And it feels a little more right. It feels like I'm going back home when I listen to Japanese stuff, especially when you've got kaiju running around. It just feels more natural for me. That's the kind of media I consume. So I really like that trailer. I had a lot of fun watching that, and I want to someday see the show in Japanese and see how the dubbing holds up to the English dubbing. Anyways, guys, that'll do it for this one. I mean, thanks for watching. Thanks for supporting the channel. I know it's a weird video to be making considering the show's already out, but again, I'm just trying to let people know that the show's out. Spreading the love for Pacific Rim. Go check it out. Watch it. Go tell your friends to watch it. Really, I just want more live action Pacific Rim movies, and so by spreading awareness that there's a Pacific Rim anime, we can show that there's interest in the franchise, and then hopefully they'll greenlight another movie someday. So, do your part. For those of you who like and subscribe, remember that you guys are the real heroes. For the rest of you, thank you all for watching. I hope you enjoyed. I will see you guys next time for the next one. D-Man, out. What? You never watched my 66 Years of Godzilla tribute? You know it's posted, right? I'm not supposed to give my opinion, but go check it out. And then you can tell me if you like it or not.